Hi guys, so I'm here with another book haul video, an actual physical book haul. I don't know what's gotten into me lately, but I've been buying a lot more physical books. So the books have been piling up actually much quicker than I've been able to haul them, which has taken me back to the good old days of BookTube. So yeah, this is only like a small portion of the books that I've actually got to haul, but it would have been too many for one video. So first of all, I'm going to start with the book that I was very kindly sent for review, and that's Heidi by Joanna Spyria. I'm not sure how I pronounce that, but this is a children's classic, but they've redone the cover. It's part of a series of books called the Sisterhood. So it's basically Penguin are releasing a whole load of children's classic novels under the Sisterhood with brand new covers. There's a really beautiful collection of books. You have the Railway Children, Little Women, Heidi, Pride and Prejudice, Anne of Green Gables, and A Little Princess. I'm really pleased actually that they sent me Heidi, because it's not one that I've read before. It's not one that I own, whereas I do own all of the other ones apart from the Railway Children. So yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful collection of books. So I mean, if I didn't own the other ones already, I would probably want to own them all in this edition. They are beautiful. So if you see these out and about, I definitely recommend picking them up. They're stunning covers, and like I say, if I didn't already own the other books, I would have picked up those editions. The next book that I have is also a children's book, but it's one that I bought myself, and that is Matilda by Roald Dahl. I read this years ago, and I've picked it up and actually read it recently. This is an absolutely beautiful cover. It's basically the 30th anniversary edition of Matilda, and it's absolutely beautiful. As I was reading it, it made me want to read more Roald Dahl, pick up more of his books, because they're just so delightful to read. So yeah, I wanted that for my collection. Then this is one that I had pre-ordered, and it's Wild Country by Anne Bishop. This is part of her Others series, but I think it's kind of like, it's under the Others series, but I think it's a slight spin-off, because this one and the previous one, Lake Silence, are not about or not focused on Meg and Simon and the courtyard. I've actually not read the one before this, Lake Silence, because it sort of like detours off, so I haven't sort of picked it up yet, but I still had to have this one pre-ordered because the Others series is one of my favourite series of all time. So yeah, each March I know that these are due out, so they always get pre-ordered. So that's that one. And I really should pick up Lake Silence soon, but it is an absolutely massive hardback, and I just know that I won't be able to lug it to and from work on the bus. So but yeah, I do really want to read that soon. The next book that I bought was My Life of Murderers by David Wilson. This is a non-fiction book. David Wilson is actually a world-renowned criminologist. If anybody watches any crime, murder documentaries, he's quite a prominent figure in them. He's in quite a few of them. I've watched loads of documentaries with him in. Most recently, one about Jack the Ripper with Amelia Fox, which was a good documentary. If you watch a lot of Jack the Ripper, or you know a lot about Jack the Ripper, it doesn't really offer a lot of new information, but it was a good, well done documentary anyway. But this is basically kind of a bit about his life and how he became to be a criminologist, and he has interviewed pretty much every recent serial killer that the UK has really had. So like I say, he's quite a prominent figure, so I was very interested to read his story, but as you guys know, I don't read a lot of non-fiction. I have started it, but I'm taking it sort of slow, picking it up here and there. So I'm only about 30 pages in, but I am really intrigued by this, and I know my friend Charlie from Duvet Day Devours, who is also a fellow crime fanatic, which makes us sound odd, but a fellow crime enthusiast, and she's read this and she highly recommends it as well. So I'm like I said, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not I'm not into the depth of it yet, if that makes sense. So the next three books that I have, I've picked up, I think two I've picked up in like the supermarkets, and one I ordered. But as you guys, well, if you follow my channel, you guys know that last year I read The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which always makes me feel weird to say I loved reading and it was one of my favourite books, but it was. I really enjoyed it, and it made me want to read more around the subject of Auschwitz. So I've actually picked up 3 in this haul that are all sort of set around Auschwitz and the Holocaust. So the first one is The Choice by Edith Eger, and it says even in hell hope can flower. And even like, it's such a beautiful cover, even though it is obviously Auschwitz, it has the most beautiful cover. So yeah, really intrigued to get to that one. And then also I have The Librarian of Auschwitz, which is based on the true story of Dieter Kraus. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. That one there. And then I have The Boy Who Followed His Father into Auschwitz, a true story. So yeah, like I say, after reading The Tattooist of Auschwitz, I really have wanted to sort of read more, particularly when they are based on people's true stories. I think it just makes it that bit more, not enjoyable, that's not the right word, but you know, you just, as you're reading it, you're thinking, oh god, this was real, you know, it's just very affecting. And yeah, I have 2 copies of The Mister by E.L. James, and this is her newest book. So yeah, she's the lady that wrote 50 Shades of Grey. And I had pre-ordered a signed copy from Waterstones. Where is it? There we go. And I collected it, and I started reading it the day after it came out. So I have already read this because I wanted to read it before the E.L. James event in Chelsea on the 24th of April. If you guys are interested, there is a vlog of that day up on my channel. So I wanted to read it then, even though they didn't give away any spoilers at the event. I wanted to have read it, and I did. I read it in 3 or 4 days. I really enjoyed it. It is a departure from 50 Shades. It's not the same, it's new characters, it is different. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm actually contemplating rereading it in the nearest future because I did really enjoy it. But I have 2 copies because at the event the price of the ticket included another copy, and this is a personalised one. I did get to briefly meet her and talk to her. She was really nice. So yeah, now I have my like pristine copy that I will keep, and then I'll have this one that I'll probably, you know, use to reread. So yeah, really enjoyed that. So yeah, and then I have Anne of Green Gables, the graphic novel. I've also read this one, read it like in a day. So enjoyed this. I am a big fan of Anne of Green Gables. I've loved Anne of Green Gables for years and years. So when I saw there was a graphic novel adaptation, I immediately had to get it. It's so beautifully done. I'm trying to find some of my favourite illustrations. But Anne of Green Gables is just such an adorable character. She's so fun. She has such a wild imagination. She's a fabulous character. If you've never read Anne of Green Gables, I highly recommend that you do so. And for any fans of Anne of Green Gables, the book, this is a really beautiful addition to have. I really enjoyed this. So yeah, that was well worth the read. And then I also picked up The Handmaid's Tale, the graphic novel. Now this is like a chunky hardback. It is beautiful though. Now I've not actually read the novel of The Handmaid's Tale. I do own it. I am a fan of the TV show. I've only I've only watched the first series. I'm halfway through the second series. But I saw this and I was like, oh, I would think I would really enjoy it as a graphic novel, because I know a few people have said that the novel is written in a way that not everybody enjoys. It's written, I can't remember what the lady said when I put something on Instagram. So I'm not sure whether to pick that up first. I mean, I know I should, but I don't know whether to read the graphic novel version first, or will reading the novel help me read the graphic novel? I'm not sure, but either way, I had to pick it up. It is beautiful. Trying to find some of that. So there we go. As you guys know, I'm not a huge graphic novel reader, but I was intrigued by this one, so I wanted to pick that up. And then the last books that I have to show you, I've already shown you in a wrap-up video, but I didn't want to haul them because they all arrived at different times. I ordered them together, but one of them took much longer than the other two to arrive, and I wanted to show them all together in a haul. And that is the what's the name of the series? The Breathless trilogy by Maya Banks. So that is Rush, Burn, and Fever. Oh, I think Burn's last actually. Yeah, that's so I really enjoyed the Highlander romance novels that I read by Maya Banks back in December. I've like just gone on and on and on about them because I loved them. So I've been wanting to read other stuff by Maya Banks. So I decided to pick these up, and they were okay. They are not to the standard of her Highlander series, in my humble opinion, but I own them now anyway. But yeah, I have already read these, but I hadn't hauled them yet. So guys, that is all the books that I'm showing for this haul. There will be another one shortly because, like I say, the books just seem to be piling up, and yeah, I don't quite know what's come over me, but I seem to be in a phase of buying physical books. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Happy reading.